Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eddie Castellanos, and you are tuned into episode one, if this makes it to YouTube, of our YouTube channel, New Parents Again. And this will also be episode three, technically, but also technically, episode one of the New Parents Again podcast. New Parent Again. I'll explain that too. Uh, I have my very special guest star here, Penny. She does not want to go to sleep. I don't know if it's regression. I've read that babies at some point in their lives, they have stages of regression where they no longer go to sleep like they used to. Now, Penny here hasn't been the greatest sleeper. You know, the number one question parents always ask is, is she sleeping through the night, right? How is she sleeping? Are you guys still waking up all the time? Um, she, for the most part, went to sleep at about 7 o'clock every day, I would say. No problem between 7, 8 o'clock on her own, exhausted. The time changed, right? So then she started going down around 6. Then she kind of found her way back to 7 o'clock. The last 3 days or so, though, it's been very difficult to put her down. The minute, and other parents out there will know this. If I start to put her down, and she feels herself going down in this direction, if you're listening to it, hand down motion, she starts to wake up before I even put her down. There's like this weird sense that babies have where they want to be held. They love that comfort, being wrapped up and bundled up, and they know the smell of their parents. They know who you are before they can see you. They can smell you. They understand that smell, that scent. That's why scent is so powerful. And the last 3 days, she doesn't want to go to sleep. She'll fall asleep and she wakes back up. She falls asleep, she wakes back up. My poor wife, she's breastfeeding, and because of that, she wakes up to feed her all the time. Um, she's waking up the last few days, I want to say almost every hour and a half, 2 hours. And I try, look, I wake up with her sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. And there's not a whole lot I can do. I tried to change her diaper the other day, and I'm gonna do it right now. It was faster for her to change her than it would have been for me to finally get up, go around the room, grab her, and change her diaper. But we're dealing with this little bit of regression right now. It's 11:46 p.m. I think I finally put her to bed. I want to say about 10:30 or so, maybe 10. She was fighting it, waking up, going down. Probably held on to her for another 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Came upstairs, put her down in her bassinet on the side of her bed. The minute I put her down, bam, woke up. Not even all the way down. Not even all the way down. She woke up right away. So mom wakes up, tries to feed her, give her some knockout juice. It wasn't enough. I get a text message, "Hey, can you grab the kid? Can you help me out with Penny?" Of course, I'm on the way. I was in here playing around with this anyways. I'm not doing anything. Um, so I took her, and she's here, and she might wake up once or twice on camera and in the microphone, but that's okay. I mean, this is real life. The point of me putting together this video is it's also something I wanted to try. I've had the website newparentagain.com for just over 1 year. I don't say that proudly, however. I did the project a year ago thinking, oh, this will be easy. It's something I know I can do. Uh, Running a website's not difficult. Putting content together, I'm a dad. I've got 11 years of experience, right? I've been doing this for a while. I know lots of dads, lots of parents in general. I'm involved with my daughter's school. I have my own business. Like, there's content all over the place. Piece of cake. It'll be fun. And who knows, maybe, I can make a penny or two off of it. So a year later, it's been nothing but an absolute headache. And sometimes that's how things go. The reason it's been a headache is because I've been way too involved doing other things, not focusing on the right things. I mean, everything's important, but the reality is this is something that not only takes up a lot of time, it also takes up money. And to lose both is not a winning concept. Like, if somebody walked up to you and said, "Hey, you want to be part of the business?" Maybe. Like, what are we talking? "Oh, how about you give me, several $100s of your money a year, and you give me a lot of your time. It doesn't matter what time it is, what time of day, but I'm going to take several hours of your time throughout the week randomly to do this job, and you're not going to make anything back in return." And you would probably go, hey, I appreciate the offer. I think I'm gonna pass, right? That would be an appropriate response if, a very polite one, because that's what this is. And I realize with all the different projects that I have going on in my life, all the things that I want to do, my daughter last week, 2 weeks ago, said, "Hey, Dad, I want to start selling. I want to make jewelry. I want to sell jewelry." Of course, I'm like, "Yeah, I support that business entrepreneurship mentality all day long. Like, let's do it. I'll help you get started." I do other things at the school. I'm lucky enough to have a good business partner. We have our own business, so there's a lot already going on. Not to mention, this one in my arms who takes 24/7 attention, and that's fine. I mean, I'm happy to give it to her. So it was a moment where I had to seek clarity and say, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to continue basically putting in half the energy that it requires to run this website? And then what am I going to do with it after? Like, what's the point? So I said, okay, you know what? I want to give myself at least 6 months to actually put in the energy I should have put into it 12 months ago and make a go of it. And this happened about a week and a half ago, in the back of my mind at least, right? And then I had the conversation with my wife and I said, hey, look, babe, this is what I think I want to do, but I need your support if I'm going to get this done. And she was like, okay, you got it. If you're going to do this, you want to try it, we'll figure it out. Don't be greedy with your time because I need your help with all the different things that we have going on, but let's try to figure this out. I said, okay, we'll make that work. So this is where I'm at. So I opened up the website again in my head. It's been running, but I put some more effort into it, and I've been putting together actual posts that make sense. Now, for those of you that want to open up a website, let me give you some words of caution. It's not the 5-minute YouTube videos that you watch on YouTube. It's a lot more work than that. You can have some experience. I had some experience, but it's still very challenging because, yeah, you can open up a website and WordPress in 5 minutes. That doesn't mean it's going to look good. That doesn't mean you're going to have great content. And it surely, for sure, means that nobody's going to find you on the internet. This is the most saturated market in the world, right? This is a global concept, the World Wide Web, global. There are websites popping up every second. So to think that you're just going to open up shop, people are going to find you, and hey, you're famous, like get that out of your head absolutely right now. And a lot of people have aspirations that they want to do something and they just don't get around to it. And I understand that too, because life is incredibly busy. So we all have the I wish I would have list, and I decided that I didn't want to put that on there. So whether it makes it or it doesn't make it, and I don't even know what makes it, the definition of this to make it, I don't even know what that is. I told my wife that I honestly don't care if it makes money. That's not why I did this. Now, would it be a perk? Absolutely, 100%. But that's not why I'm doing it. I put this together, the website together, because I thought it would be a fun project. I believe in community a lot. I'm very, very big on community. Many hands make light work. At the same time, I am also a glutton for punishment, meaning I will try to do as much of the work myself as I possibly can. And that's something that I am working on. There's another podcast to come at a later date where me and a very close friend of mine have a very honest conversation, and he kind of beats it over my head. Some points that I already knew, but I think I just needed to hear somebody else say it. And I even told him, if I'm asking you the question, that means that I already know the answer. And I'm hoping that you tell me I'm wrong, and which would tell me I'm right. Meaning I was looking for validation for the opposite reason. And he was like, no, you're wrong. You know you're wrong. And this is what you need to do instead. And I said, okay. So that's coming. That podcast is definitely coming up. Hopefully sooner than later. I think we're going to try to do a YouTube podcast, something of that nature. But that's in the works. So I created the website, and now I need content, right? Content is everything. The website is great. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll put together like a diary, a journal website. I'm going to write down my ideas, and I'm going to come back and it's going to be great. And I'm going to have something for my girls to have in the future. And maybe people can learn from my life experiences. I did some research online. number one worst reason to make a website was a journaling website. Of course, that makes sense. That's how this is going to go for me. Okay. And I get it, right? Because not everybody is really interested in the journal. When we go online to search, we search for a specific reason. The number one reason that parents are searching right now online, newborns, right? What about newborns? If you had to take a wild guess in your head, what do you think parents are searching for on that keyboard? What's the number one challenge that they have with their newborns, with their infants? Two reasons. I'll give you that. It's two things. First thing, number one, getting them to stop crying. They cry, they can't communicate, right? They communicate through their cries, through their sounds. Number two reason is this one right here, putting them to sleep. Putting them to sleep is the number two reason that parents are looking online for help and advice. So I did some thinking and I said, okay, people use the internet for very specific reasons. I use the internet for very specific reasons. I look up a recipe. I want to get straight to the recipe. I cannot stand. I did it today at the grocery store with some very close friends of ours. So we met them at the grocery store. I looked up green bean casserole because Thanksgiving's around the corner. And they're like, hey, he really likes green bean casserole. Okay, no, wait. I can make a green. I do it every year. This year, though, because we're keeping it really small, my wife was like, we don't really eat a lot of it. You don't have to make it. I said, okay, no biggie. Then he wants it. So I'm like, all right, I'll make it. So I get on my phone and I look up a recipe. I have to read about their cousins that came over and tasted it, this magical green bean they found. It's like 10,000 word essay per recipe. I really need you guys to stop doing that. I know why you do it now. I understand it from my research. The longer they can keep you engaged on a page, right? There's monetization behind that. The more that you scroll, the more opportunity there is for ad space that they can sell. I get that too. So I see you. I understand that they found a way to really monetize recipes online, and I'm not mad. It's annoying, but I get it. So anyways, money was never the root of this. If I could put together a project that could help one person, I told my wife that I would be satisfied. That would be enough. But I want to see some traffic come to the site. So I'm back. I've been writing articles that make sense. Stress, anxiety, especially around the holidays, putting the babies to sleep, not people to sleep, putting babies to sleep, how me and my wife handle conflict, not necessarily just with each other, but with our own stressful situations and the kids. I put together a Facebook group because, again, I believe in community, and I think there's a lot to be learned from each other, so I got that going. I created the Instagram, New Parent Again Instagram account. That's been really fun playing around with that, trying to understand the algorithm. I don't make my own original content. I try, and I get like 15 views, 30 views, right? I find something funny that somebody else put together and send it, gone. Thousands of views in one day. So I don't understand how it works. I see all the different tricks and tips that people put on there to make your video go viral. I don't know. We'll see. I also hear that Instagram is the absolute hardest space to make a name for yourself, which means that the number one space that everybody's in is TikTok. The only reason why I have a TikTok account is for my daughter. My daughter uses the TikTok. So I need to break into that space. All that being said, it is a lot to have a website, to have an Instagram, to have a TikTok, to have a Facebook group, to have a podcast. It's a huge undertaking for one person. However, I'm going to do it, and God willing, it will be successful. Got to make sure I don't drop my baby here. So my 11-year-old came by earlier. I was trying this out. Came by, snuck into the camera. She loves it. She's been my guest speaker on 2 episodes that I've had. Absolutely fantastic conversations. I'm very impressed with her ability to sit down and talk, and we can actually have a real conversation. We were not training this by in any means, and that's why, to explain the background, this is my office. I put this together for my wife during COVID because she was working from home, and I wanted to give her a space that I felt she deserved. So I put together an office that's got like a built-in cabinet in the background. There's 2 beautiful desks here against the window. She wanted to look out the window. when she was working. I thought it was funny. I went out and bought a water cooler, put the water cooler in here for her office because that all made sense to me. And so now this space is this space turned into the toy room for the baby's room, and then my big kid didn't want the toy room anymore, so I turned it back into the office. So it's still a mess. It's still under construction, but I decided to leave it as is because once again, this is life. This is the life of a busy parent. I am not the only busy parent out there. Most of us out there are doing 210 things at once. It's a lot. If there's kids out there listening to this or watching this, like, be grateful for your parents. Realize all the things that they do. I didn't realize it until way later in my life, and I'm very fortunate to have the parents that I have today. My parents still watch. They watch this one, and my mom even retired early just to watch my first one. She did. I was traveling a lot, and she went out of her way and she made some major changes in her life for the major changes in our life. And that's something that, she sets the bar really high on being a grandparent. And same with my dad. My dad would do anything for these kids. I get yelled at by my dad. If they appear unhappy in any way, I get in trouble. I'm almost 40 years old. I still get yelled at by my dad. And he is loud. Like, my dad has zero filter. If anybody knows my dad, he is loud. He shakes your hand with no holdback because he was raised to shake your hand, and he's a man. He's going to shake your hand. He will crush your hand like it's between two concrete cinder blocks. It hurts. So you meet my dad, maybe a high five. You want to challenge yourself, go ahead and shake his hand. But my mom has to tell him all the time, be careful when you shake people's hand. Like, you are a Mack truck in full motion. But I love my pops, so shout out to both my parents. They're amazing human beings, and they helped me become who I am today. So that I just wanted to talk about the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing. Website is to help create engaging content, to help each other, to explain what I've gone through in my life, to teach myself other things as I go through this journey to become a better father. I also feel very heavily against the way that dads are treated. I don't like the stigma that dads don't do anything, that we're all airheads. I don't like it. I see the content and I get it. Content sells. I don't like it though, because I don't know any of those dads. I know lots of dads that work all day, all night, do whatever it takes, help kids with their homework, laundry, dishes, meals, whatnot. We are out here. We are not magical unicorns that do not exist. My entire group of friends does exactly what they need to do to be a good dad. And I also want to help get that message across that we are a lot more than we are made out to be. We don't just make money, right? I mean, it's not even about that. This is the new age. Everybody makes money. There's nothing wrong with whoever makes money. You have to. I live in California. I mean, if you're not in a dual income household, I don't know how you're gonna make it. You can spend $200 on groceries and feel like you have nothing in the bag. So that was another reason that I wanted to do what I was doing. Again, the Facebook group was to put together a community. It's only like 2 days old. I think we're at like almost 60 members. That's okay. I'll take it. It's going to grow. Instagram account, I may get like 1 or 2 new followers a day. That's cool. I'll take it. TikTok, I'll get that started. The podcast, I have 2 episodes with my daughter. They're not even greatly recorded, but that's okay. It's an experience and it's a project, and we're going to get off the ground. This will be the first YouTube video. Same thing. It's an experience. We're just getting started. We're getting off the ground. And you know what? It's kind of cool. I'm more than happy to be holding my baby girl in my arms while I do it. I'm not afraid to show you what my house looks like. It's a mess. It's under construction. There's a lot going on. It's cool. I can spend the time and make it look as fake as I want, but that's not what I want to do. So eventually I will get it nice and shiny and all that, but let's make sure that this is going to be something that can continue first for me. This is me talking to me. So in the future, I will have a new podcast episode out. I'm looking forward to having a 3rd episode with my daughter. I don't know if I'm going to break these up into segments, different types of episodes, but we'll get there. So anyways, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to do my best to put this little girl down. And it's been 20 minutes. Thanks for watching. This is the New Parent Again YouTube channel and podcasts. We're out.